Mr. Jules, the janitor of the grand old theater, found himself rummaging through the dusty basement. The scent of aged wood and forgotten stories filled the air. As he swept the floor, his eyes caught a glimpse of something unusual in the corner, a vintage radio covered in a thick layer of dust. Curiosity piqued, he approached it and wiped away the grime, revealing a sleek, retro design. With a gentle tug, he opened the radio and discovered a cassette tape lodged inside. Intrigued, he pressed play, but nothing happened. He frowned, then decided to rewind the tape, hoping to uncover its secrets. Suddenly, the room around him began to swirl, and before he knew it, he was standing outside the historic Dakota building on a cold, snowy night. The date flashed in bright lights. December 8th, 1980. A sense of dread washed over him as he realized where he was. This was the night John Lennon would be shot. Panic surged through him, and he rushed to a nearby newsstand, hoping to find someone who could help. But time was running out. As he looked up at the Dakota, he saw Lennon walking toward the building, surrounded by a few fans. Mr. Jules's heart raced. He had to act. Sprinting toward the entrance, he shouted, "Get down! He has a gun!" His voice echoed through the frigid air, and chaos erupted. Security personnel tackled the unseen shooter just moments before he could pull the trigger. Lennon was whisked away into his limousine, safe for now. Breathless and filled with adrenaline, Mr. Jules dashed away from the scene, his mind racing with what he had just done. He felt a mix of relief and terror as he escaped into the shadows of Central Park, knowing that history had shifted in a way he could hardly comprehend. In the chaos of his thoughts, he instinctively reached for the radio and pressed the fast-forward button. The world around him began to swirl once more, and he found himself back in the basement of the old theater, the radio before him humming quietly. But something was off. As he looked around, he noticed the theater's walls bore new posters, ones he had never seen before. The music playing from the radio was unfamiliar, and a deep sense of unease settled in his stomach. He picked up a newspaper that lay nearby, its headline screaming about the tragic death of Michael Jackson in an airplane crash just 2 months after he had intervened in Lennon's fate. Mr. Jules felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. By saving Lennon, he had unknowingly set off a chain reaction of events that altered the landscape of music history. The iconic album Thriller would never be released, and the world would be deprived of the magic it could have brought. He sank to the floor, overwhelmed by the gravity of his actions. The radio crackled softly beside him, a reminder of the fragile threads that tie history together. Mr. Jules took a deep breath, knowing he had to accept the course of events. As he continued to clean the basement, he realized that sometimes even the smallest actions can ripple through time in ways one could never imagine. The past was rewritten, and he would carry that burden with him, a silent guardian of the stories that could have been.